I'm going to be sharing with you in this video what to do if you haven't been seeing manifestations in your life for a while, and to be honest with yourself about that process. If you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Also, all the details to work with me will be down below. Now, the first thing that I want to share with you is to be honest with yourself. Self-honesty is the key. If you've been going through life and it's been multiple months, multiple years, and you haven't been seeing growth, yes, I believe that detaching from time is one of the most important factors to manifest. Yes, I believe that alignment is king. Yes, I believe that staying in alignment and trusting your highest intuition is one of the most powerful keys. But at the same time though, what is not working? Is there something in your life that's not working? Be honest with yourself. Self-honesty is the key. See, if we're lying to ourselves, we're lying to others. We have to learn to be honest with ourselves. We have to learn to program ourselves consciously. And if we're not doing that, to be honest about the fact that we're not seeing the results that we want, and perhaps we are the ones to blame for it. Perhaps we're not doing something right. Perhaps we're not doing the affirmations. We're not taking the right actions. We're not aligning our thoughts and our feelings and our actions. Because yes, I believe manifestation is about just trusting your alignment, trusting your feelings and all that, but I really think that people can confuse that with not aligning every single aspect of their life. Because aligning your thoughts and your feelings and your actions is what you're going to have to do if you want to manifest exactly what you want. There's no getting around that. It's just what needs to happen. And that can sometimes mean maybe something will come up that you didn't necessarily expect. You know, how do you know that these things coming up in your life that maybe bring up resistance sometimes, and we're going to talk about that in a second, isn't part of the path? It's the resistance coming up. It's the old energy that's out of alignment with who you want to be coming up to the surface. How do you know that that's not completely in alignment with your manifestations? How do you really know? Oftentimes what we do is we pretend like resistance isn't coming up to the surface, and we just say like, oh, like alignment isn't, it's just I'm gonna trust my alignment, and then we ignore. I've seen that with my clients happen a lot. I've seen it where people just pretend like resistance isn't coming up and they pretend like it doesn't exist. Now, I'm not saying to do shadow work necessarily, because I've said many times that I don't believe in shadow work, but I'll share with you what I mean by that in a second. What I'm saying is to first off, just be honest with yourself. Take a look at your life. Have you manifested things? Have you made big changes in your life? Have you made any quantum leaps? Have you made any powerful leaps in your life? Let's say you look at your life in the last 3 to 6 months. Let's say you look at your life the last year. Is it just like slow, continual growth? And I think that's great. I think slow, continual growth is great. But I also believe in quantum jumps. And let's say if you look at your life for the last 5 years or the last 10 years, and it's like, you're just not really changing. You're not becoming the person that you want to be, right? You're just seeing like this sort of linear growth. And I think linear growth is great. I think it's great. Don't get me wrong. But all I'm saying is that, are you getting what you want? If you're not, I'm not saying to make crazy, ridiculous changes that are out of alignment with who you want to be. All I'm saying is to just be honest about the results that you're getting. Do you have to change something? Do you believe that you have to change something? If you don't believe you have to change anything, then don't change anything and carry on. If you believe you need to detach from time, stay in alignment, then trust that. Don't listen to this video. But if you're like doing something like perhaps trusting your alignment or whatever you hear in my past videos, and again, I'm always changing, so my videos might seem contradictory sometimes, but they're not. It's because different situations require different knowledge at different times for different people, considering different circumstances, connecting with 50 other factors in their life holistically that I can't address just in one video. You know what I mean? Like there's many videos that I share where one video could apply to one person at a particular time at a particular space, and then another video will apply only to that particular person at another time at a particular space, and those videos may seem contradictory, but in fact they're both right, but they just mean different things at different times, and maybe they do work together in a way that doesn't make sense to the mind sometimes. Life is also paradoxical. We live in a paradoxical reality. So trying to figure it out with the ego doesn't always make sense. These videos are pointers to help you come back into your true power. But anyways, all I'm saying is to be honest with yourself. Just be honest with yourself about what you're getting in your life. What are your beliefs about what you're getting? Because if you know deep inside, like, you're not honoring your beliefs, you're not honoring what you truly believe, then you gotta be in alignment with that. Being in alignment with your current beliefs is also alignment. You know what I mean? It's like, let's say you believe genuinely that you have to take some action. Then you're gonna have to take some action. If you believe that you can just not take action at all and you need to take less action to manifest what you want, then you might need to do that. Maybe you're taking too much action. What are your beliefs? What do you believe? Be honest with yourself. Self-honesty is the key. If you're not honest with yourself, it's going to be very difficult for you to manifest, because if you keep pretending like you believe something else that you don't really believe, and you're like trying to make it work and it doesn't work, that's not alignment. That's lying to yourself. So be honest with yourself. That's the first thing that I want to share. Now, the second thing that I want to share, which may seem contradictory to the videos I've been posting recently, but I want to give you the knowledge that is going to help you in all areas of life at different times. And sometimes this is what I need, sometimes this is what you might need. And so I'm going to share with you something that might seem contradictory to what I've said, but I'm going to share it anyways. Because that's the whole point of this, is to grow and to learn and to always change and to always be transforming, and not to be attached to one belief, one way of manifesting, one way of seeing life. And the thing that I want to share with you, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper to make it clear, because I've said before that, I don't believe in shadow work, and I still don't necessarily believe in shadow work, but I want to share something powerful with you, which is to stop being afraid of resistance. Look, resistance is going to come up. Yes, I preach alignment. Yes, I preach connecting to who you really are. Yes, I preach trusting your highest intuition above anything else and ignoring the resistance. But at the same time though, are you afraid of resistance? Because if you're afraid of resistance, you will actually move deeper into the resistance. If you resist resistance, you will create more resistance. So you can ignore resistance without being afraid of it, is what I'm saying. If you're afraid of it, you're going to manifest a lot of problems in your life. And you're going to stay stuck in one aspect of consciousness that's not allowing you to become who you truly want to be. It's going to stop you. It's going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you stagnated. It's going to keep you in resistance. It's going to keep you in a negative energy that has nothing to do with who you want to be. So what I'm telling you to do here is not necessarily to go into the shadow, but if you believe you have to, then do that. If you believe you have to go into the shadow to move forward, and what I'm sharing with you doesn't apply, then honor that belief. You're going to have to honor your beliefs every step of the way. Now, if you don't believe that, then that's fine. Just honor your beliefs. But what I'm saying is that what you want to do is not be afraid of resistance and reprogram the resistance. Reprogram the resistance. See, here's the thing. Resistance is going to come up in your life. Personally, I don't care how enlightened you are. I don't care if you're a spiritual teacher. I don't care how much work you've done. I don't care how conscious you are, or how big of a spiritual ego you think you have, or how you've overcome every single resistance in your life. I believe that no matter what, resistance is going to come up in your life. And when it does, do you know how to deal with it in a conscious manner that is not going to make you self-sabotage yourself and stop you from moving forward in your life? Because if you're not afraid of resistance, let me ask you this. If you're not afraid of resistance, think about how unstoppable you are. You're absolutely unstoppable. Nothing can stop you if you're not afraid of resistance. Now again, I'm not necessarily saying to go into resistance consciously like shadow work unless you believe that you have to. And if you believe that you have to, then honor that. Hire a mentor, hire a coach. If you're listening to people talk about alignment and it doesn't resonate for you and you feel like you have to look at some shadow, then trust that. That's going to help you to do more than just staying in resistance and they're, I don't want to do the shadow work. It's like, just trust yourself. I personally don't like to do shadow work, but what I do understand though is that resistance is going to come up, and you could that's technically shadow work in a way. It just had a different label. I'm just communicating the same truth in a different way. I'm still doing the shadow work. I've just reinterpreted it in my mind where I don't call it shadow work and I make it more fun and exciting for me, because I see shadow as an exciting opportunity to be more in alignment with my manifestation. That's all. I'm still doing the shadow work. I've just reprogrammed it to see it in a different way. I don't see challenges. I see opportunities to become more of who I want to be. I don't see negative limiting beliefs. I see the old reality helping me to point me towards more of what I want. I don't see it as negative or wrong or bad or shadow. That's not how I personally see it. Personally, I don't see it in the way. For just me personally. So what I want you to do is, if the resistance comes up, and I'm sorry to say it, but I'm not sorry to say, the resistance is going to come up. The resistance is going to come up. It has to. Even if you're extremely, consider yourself an enlightened being, whatever that even means. Okay, not that I'm saying that enlightened beings don't exist, but how do you really define enlightenment? There's so many different levels of consciousness. Who's enlightened, who's not enlightened? Let's just leave that to the side for a second. Let's not make this about debate. Let's not make this about, all these conversations that just aren't really practical sometimes. Just can become debate, no, just remove all of that debate and right and wrong. How about we make it as practical as possible to help you get the results that you actually want in your life? Actually, real results. What you do is, if the resistance comes up, which it is going to, you reprogram it. You see it in a different way. And you might be thinking but what if I'm just rationalizing something that is not the truth? Do that. Rationalize it in a way that's not the truth, because you create your own truth. You create your reality. Who defines what resistance means? You do. Let's say you have resistance and you say, God, what if I'm running away from this? Let me go ask somebody else what I should do with this and see what they believe. And they tell you, and then you agree with it. That's still you agreeing with your own belief. You just took it from somebody else. Can't you be a pioneer and decide for yourself what resistance means? Right? And if you take something from somebody else and you resonate with that, you're still doing it on your own. You're still choosing your beliefs through somebody else, if that makes sense. At the end of the day, in a way, and this isn't to make you feel sad or depressed or fearful or any negative emotion, if you choose to respond in that way, that is your call. But in a way, you are completely alone, in the sense that even if you're taking beliefs from somebody else, you're still doing it yourself. And vice versa, even if you want to do it yourself, sometimes you may need somebody else to assist you on your path, like a coach, like a mentor, or a friend. You're still doing it yourself anyways. It's all you, your consciousness. You are consciousness. You are God in a way. You are God. You are God manifesting your reality. You are the God of your reality. Let's just say that. So what I encourage you to do is to stop being afraid of resistance. And if it comes up, what it is going to, in my personal experience and in my opinion, what I encourage you to do is to reprogram it, to see it in a different way. To see it in a different way. I don't mean to lie to yourself. I mean to trust what you say speaks into existence. That's being honest with yourself. Being honest with yourself is saying, I choose my reality. This resistance, what does it mean? It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing other than what I decide it means. If you have some intense negative emotion come up, what does this mean? It means nothing. I am who I say I am. That's not who I am. It means whatever you want it to mean. It means I'm still going to get what I want. It means this is who I am anyways. It means whatever you want. But it's not to be afraid of it. You never want to be afraid of anything. Fearing something is absolutely irrational. People think that being scared of something is a rational thing. No. Fear is completely irrational most of the times. Fear is completely irrational. Look at somebody that's really, really in fear and reactivity and chaos, and I'm so scared, oh my God, oh. Think about it. They're usually irrational. They're usually completely irrational. They're not rational at all. When you're truly conscious, you will see that rationality is something that you really have a connection to. And when you're scared of resistance, you become incredibly irrational. You make unwise decisions that are based upon something that is not even happening, And if it does happen, usually it's because you shift into a timeline that is a result of believing in the fear. Believing in the fear. Believing in fear is one of the biggest self-sabotagers for manifestation. One of the most powerful questions that I was ever asked by one of my mentors is, do you have to believe in fear? Do you have to believe in fear? Because you don't have to believe in fear. You really don't have to believe in fear. Believing in fear is absolutely a choice. And I have a video coming out soon on that as well that I've already recorded, so stay tuned for that. So believing in fear is absolutely a choice. You don't need to believe in fear, and you don't need to be afraid of resistance. You need to reprogram it and see it in a different way. Now, the final thing that I want to share with you in this video, which is something that you really want to incorporate in your life, I truly believe, if you haven't been seeing manifestations in your life for a while, and to be honest with yourself about this, is to change your identity and your self-image. Change your identity and your self-image. This is so powerful because what you want to do is understand that if you are stuck in some kind of identity and some way of being, what you want to do is learn to change who you say you are. Change your identity, change who you are. Change that self-image. Stop being attached to one self-image, right? Simply decide that you are going to be somebody else. Make a decision in your life that, you know what? If I'm not happy with my identity and who I say I am, then change it. Change it. Why are you attached to one version of who you are? Because you've believed that you have to be. So what I encourage you to do is to change your identity, change your self-image, change who you are. This is one of the biggest keys to manifestation, is simply decide that you are not that type of person anymore and that you are another person. You can use affirmations for this. Affirmations are really powerful. Simply telling yourself that I am not that person anymore is an affirmation. Whether you're sitting on a meditation or not, you don't need to be sitting down meditation for affirmations. You can be affirming to yourself all day. This is who I am. This is who I am. Like, I am a YouTuber. I am rich. I am whatever. I make this amount of money per month. This is who I am. I am not this. I don't do this anymore. I don't do that. That's not me. Maybe you've been doing something for a while. Maybe you've had some kind of addiction. Maybe you've had some kind of pattern. Decide that it's not you. Decide. How do you do that, Francis? Speak it out loud. Affirm it. Decide. Use your mind. That is not me. That is not me. That pattern is not me. It is not me. It is not me. Tell yourself again, if it comes up, oh my gosh, a little bit of resistance, that's not me. Tell yourself it's not you. Maybe you feel like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit lack because I don't have money in my life. That's not me. I always have enough money. I manifest this amount of money per month. That's who I am. That's who I am. Maybe somebody comes into your life and tells you something that's contradictory to who you are. You tell them, yeah, that's not who I am. I don't know what you're talking about. That's not me. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know how you view me. That's not me. That's maybe who I used to be. Don't let anybody project their past, your past. Maybe they're still seeing you through some past lens. Tell them who you are. You can't blame them. You can't judge them. You can't judge them for seeing you in a certain way, because that's who you used to be. That's your past beliefs coming up through them. Simply communicate to them in a way that honors you and honors them. That's not me. This is who I am now. Change your identity. Change your self-image. This is so powerful. If you haven't been seeing growth in your life for a while, changing your identity and your self-image is one of the most powerful things you can do. And to finally conclude that point is to follow through and trust. That's the key, right? When you decide you're an identity, follow through and trust. And that's discipline, by the way, in my belief. Discipline is not necessarily making yourself do things that you believe you have to do and be in resistance. Although if you believe that, then trust that. If nothing's going to change in your life, and the only way you're free to make a change in your life is to maybe take some action to be in resistance, then just do that. Honor that. Honor where you're at. But I believe discipline, and one of the ways that discipline actually works, that I believe a lot of people don't understand, I used to believe that discipline is, making my life hard, making my life difficult, and I need to be in resistance, and I need to be taking actions I don't feel aligned to me, and I need to make my life really, really hard, and all this, blah, 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 blah. No. Discipline is deciding who you are, and then aligning your actions with that. Aligning every single action with that. Aligning every single communication with that. Until you become it. Until it's who you are. and you see that you're the creator of your reality. Nobody decides your reality for you other than you. So change your identity, change your self-image. It's so powerful. Do you feel the power of this? Do you feel the power of what I'm saying? What I'm communicating to you here is that you decide who you are, nobody else. And even if you allow somebody else to define who you are deciding who you are through them, giving your power to them, whether you realize it or not. Does that make sense? Even if you allow somebody to define who you are, you're still defining who you are through them. I'm gonna say that again. Even if, I know it's like getting repetitive practice, but you might have to say it again. I'm gonna say it again. Even if you allow somebody else to define and decide who you are still deciding who you are through them. And with that, I conclude this video. Once again, all the details to work with me are going to be down below. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.